And good day. Okay, we're very excited today to be able to present and show you the 7.8 version. My name is Steve, and I just want to say that we're really striving as much as possible with IntelliClick to continue to raise the bar on the capabilities we're offering integrated, particularly with Goldmine, and really give you the best ways to create, develop, test, send, and track your email marketing campaigns with integration into the Goldmine environment. Today, as Pam mentioned, we have two new services that we're going to be introducing. The plan for our presentation this morning is we'll start off with a quick overview of these two new services and the benefits that they bring to you, a little demonstration of how they both work and how it all ties in with Goldmine. We'll talk a little bit also about the pricing and how this will apply and for those who qualifies for what in terms of pricing as we release this. For many of you who may have launched IntelliClick since Friday, the new version is available and it should prompt you for a download, and that would allow you to then quickly update your version to have access to the things we'll be showing you today. So we're going to start by just quickly reviewing some of these capabilities. The first is the email address validation service. And what's so important about this capability is that a lot of you know that when you send with IntelliClick, we do monitor and help you manage hard bounces. But of course, if you have a very high rate of hard bounce, you're putting yourself at risk for blacklistings and even potentially account termination for the SMTP relay if you're getting very high on those rates. So with our new service, we're going to make it very easy for you to proactively address this. And what we mean by that is that you're able to isolate any segment of the Goldmine database, including the entire database of emails, if you wish. So it's very similar to loading things now where you load a group to determine who you're sending mail. You're now able to use any group you build to load the email addresses that you wish verified. One good time to use that is if you've added any new lists or any new data to your database, or if you feel you have a lot of records that are very old, perhaps 1 or 2 years old where you've not done any marketing. Those might be worth validating to see if those email addresses are still good and can receive mail. When this verification is done for you, we're basically going to enable you to suppress anything that's an undeliverable, a hard bounce, non-existent email. Plus, it will also help you address, and this is very important, known spam trap email addresses. Sometimes these are called honeypots. There are different terms for them. But the key here is that these are valid emails that still can potentially cause you to be reported and ultimately flagged for blacklistings. So it's really important to make sure that if these two are being addressed up front, you're really reducing substantially the likelihood of you getting into any kind of problems, especially with blacklistings on your domain. The process basically involves a data file of invalid emails that or you generate a file, and you'll see how we do that. We've given you basically a couple of clicks to generate it and get it uploaded to the service. We return back to you a data file of the invalid emails, and then with about one click, literally from inside the IntelliSend email data integrity area, you are able to immediately flag those emails to be sure they're not being sent to. Again, key benefit here is really reducing the number of hard bounces from any and all of your campaigns, especially when you're using an older data set of email addresses and really trying to keep your reputation intact and not being put at risk. Now, another area we're going to help you improve deliverability of your messages is by being able to look at and see your HTML template rendered across numerous email platforms, whether they be web-based platforms, desktop or PC-based, or mobile devices. And so with this particular service, you're now able to view your email templates across 4 web clients, 8 desktop, and 3 mobile clients. you're really going to be able to see what the user experience will be of your message being received in their environment, so that you can really see how well it will show, whether you might need to make any adjustments to give yourself the most optimum view to them. And obviously, by being more certain of what it's going to look like to your audience, you have a better chance that they will receive it and be receptive to the messages coming from you. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to just jump into a little demonstration on these two tools. And I'm going to move over to Goldmine, and we're just going to show you how this will all play out. So I'm just going to launch the latest IntelliClick version. I'm going to bring up the wizard. And the first thing I want to point out is that in the latest 7.8 version, when you choose IntelliSend, you're going to see a new button available. What we've done is we've given you very quick and direct access to the data integrity module. You've always had and continue to have access to it from when you launch the IntelliSend screen. But for those of you who want to just be able to quickly go in and manage data integrity, we thought having a very quick and simple way to get to that part of the software made sense. So we've added this button. I'll go ahead and launch that, and that brings me straight into the email data integrity management area. As you always would do in this area, you first start off by making a connection to your Goldmine database, the one that you want to verify the data integrity. You still have the opportunity to go out and check for already tracked hard bounces from any prior campaigns. And many of you may know, but this data is something that is being tracked by the Unified Email Server, the SMTP relay partner we use and provide to you for tracking all the email activity as you push it out through IntelliSend. In this particular instance, I'm not going to bother to do an update. I'm just going to let it complete the connection to the Goldmine system. And as you already have seen in the past, we will identify malformed emails, which allow you to very quickly group and clean those up by taking a group we build for you in the Goldmine environment, or we'll show what's already flagged as hard bounce. And I want to emphasize that whatever is flagged as a hard bounce is going to be excluded whether you remove them from your database or not. So we make sure that once they're flagged, just like the unsubscribes are excluded, so are hard bounce emails. Now, you'll see there's a new button here called Generate Email Address Verification File. I'm going to click on that. It brings me up to a selection of groups within my Goldmine environment. If I want to validate the entire database in Goldmine, I would choose all contacts, but I do have the option of building and using any group that I want to isolate a subset of the database if preferred. I'm just going to quickly load the entire database, and the next screen that will be presented to you is who the person is requesting this, and this information is what we're going to use to generate back the update file that will be used for application to Goldmine. So you would fill this information in here, and it requires at least the name and email address of the person that is requesting this. I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in. Phone number is a good idea so that if there's any reason we need to contact you, that individual has identified who they are. I'm just going to go ahead and pop that in too. It's not required, but is helpful. And until you actually accept the terms and conditions for the service, the OK button is great. And I'm just going to launch the terms and conditions. That will open up in a little window that shows the terms and conditions here, so you can quickly read those and have those available and in view to see what those terms and conditions are. The main thing, importantly, that you are basically approving is the cost, which I'm going to speak to later, but there is a cost per email being processed for you, and that there is a need to have a credit card on file with us so that the charge for any and all of these batches can be immediately processed as part of the update and verification process. The form itself is made available to you here if you want to provide that information, and you can then very quickly pull that up in a web browser window and complete that form print, sign, and then return it, and the form does provide you the location by fax or email to return that for verification. Once the credit card is on file, and for those of you that we might already have those on file, then that will be used for any of these batches being processed on your behalf. Now, once I have all my information set, I agree to the terms and conditions and I click OK. It will go ahead now and upload. It creates a file, uploads it, and actually sends an exact copy of what is being uploaded with a summary of how many emails and so forth. And you'll notice that the screen identified the number of emails, but I'm just going to move back over into Goldmine and receive that message so that you can see what will be coming back your way. I'll just retrieve the mail. And here is the message. It will be coming from verification@IntelliClickSoftware.com. So we do recommend that you make this whitelisted or a sender that you can receive mail from. Once you bring in the email, you will be able to see the actual summary. It will show your customer ID, the IntelliClick customer ID, and the information of the person that has requested, along with the number of records to validate. A file of the actual emails is attached, a CSV file, so you can open that and see exactly the email addresses that are going to be processed on your behalf. Now, once that processing takes place, and in many cases you could see this back very often within the same or next business day, usually at the latest, but same business day is not an unusual time frame to possibly see this coming your way. Once you've received the file back, you simply save that file in any desired location. And let's just go ahead and go back over here, and we will now want to process the file. And the information coming back your way will have instructions explicitly telling you exactly how to apply it into your Goldmine system, but it's really just 2 clicks. It's going to ask you to go into your integrity management area, load a hard bounce file. So the button for loading hard bounce file is right located, easy to access. You simply point to the file that was sent back to you. Normally this file will have the name of your customer ID and then invalid emails. It's a text file. But regardless of the name that you get back, it is a text file that contains the emails needed. And once you point to that file, it will say how many emails are found in the file. And of course you can open that file prior to and see what's been returned. That file is available to you. It's a CSV file, or a text file in this case. And once you say yes to applying it to your database, and keep in mind here I'm showing currently 10 hard bounce, I'm going to go ahead and say yes to applying that. It will look and attempt to match all the emails that were, and they of course will be matched because they were generated from your system in the first place. It will then bring you back in and reload, and now it's showing 19 hard bounce files, or hard bounced emails. It now added to my list those 9 that were flagged, and they are now going to be excluded from future mailings. So again, making sure that the integrity of your data is intact. Of course, you have the option, if you don't want to maintain these in your database, to select them, choose to delete the email and add it to the history in Goldmine, so you have a permanent record of it, but actually removing the email so that it's not being used potentially by your users to send mail to invalid emails. Again, where the risk is when you're doing mass emails and you have a high hard bounce rate that you want to try and avoid for your sender reputation. So our tool here makes it very easy to remove them, or just simply create a group that you can then go and review of all emails found to be invalid, hard bounced, or potentially in a spam trap type of category. And now you're on more or less a safe sender list. So fairly simple steps to execute, upload, and then apply the results coming back from this service. The next area I'm going to talk about is the email validation, or I should say the rendering capability. And so I'm going to go back into the IntelliClick wizard, And here you're just simply going to go right into your HTML editor account just as you always normally would do. I'm going to move over here. I think I already have my editor account open. And then you would simply open up or generate, if you're creating a brand new email, you could use the email templates available to you through the editor. Now, an important part of this upgraded version of the editor that provides this testing capability is you're also getting an additional 300 templates. So a standard account currently receives or has about 600 pre-created templates in a library that you can access. The upgraded version that has testing adds another 300 very high quality, professionally built templates, so that in the account you are able to access a much wider array of types of templates. Maybe what I should just do is go back into the home area, and let me just cancel out of this. Go over to home. So here you're noticing that in a premium account there's about 921 templates. This is being added to at all times, and you would find that in many of the categories that are there are more templates and high quality templates available to you to work with. The nice thing is that once your template is in the editor at any point in time, I'm just going to bring back up that template I had open a moment ago. You have the option at any moment as you're building that template to test it. And so under the test, you have the test my email option. When you click on that option, it will prompt you for the sender email, just to confirm, and it will default to whatever we've set up with your account. So the screen will come up with whatever is the name that you were set up with. You can leave it as is. This doesn't really impact the testing in any way. And then the result, once it goes out, is it'll take a few minutes, but it will render and show you a preview of your message across these various clients, email clients. You can break it into just web only and just look at the web clients, the desktop clients, and you could see it covers Apple, the various versions of Outlook, including Outlook 2013, and Express and Windows Mail, and then in a mobile device, it's the Droid, iPad, and iPhone. And this is typically being done on the latest platforms out there. You'll notice it's actually being handled through a product called Email on Acid. This is one of the best and most well known and respected email rendering tools out in the market. You'll see that the pricing we have for this is a substantially lower cost than if you were to use the product directly. So having this embedded within the use of it under our HTML editor account that's provided to you with IntelliClick, you get this at a substantially reduced price to have this capability. So very nice way to actually check it out. And what's really nice about this too is that it will allow you to actually interactively see. So if I'm in the Gmail previewer, for instance, I can actually now see what it will look like in a Gmail environment, which I find interesting is when I previewed this email in the other email environments that were online editors, it does have a very different look than Gmail. Gmail seems to be the most challenging of all graphically to deliver to. For instance, this message in Gmail is letting the background show through. If I were to go back in here to my summary and look at this, for instance, in Yahoo, I get a completely different look on the preview within Yahoo. It renders the way I had intended or expected the email to show. What's nice too is that this is interactive, so if I want to see what my message will look like if image blocking is on, and I click that, it will now show me exactly how it will show up and whether or not I have any descriptions related to the imagery that I want to display. So this would show you exactly how your message would show if image blocking is turned on that particular email client. You can interactively go on or off with that. So very nice way, and I think with the devices, the mobile devices, what's nice here is that you can also very quickly see the experience they'll have on the device. Now, with this email that'll show up here on the device, it's just going to take a moment, I can see that, for instance, this one would have required scrolling sideways and up and down. So clearly my message here was not well, or if I was to use this version on a mobile device, not optimized for being received on the device. However, if I want to see if they use their device in a landscape format, again, a little bit better viewed here, but still requires a small amount of scrolling to see the message within the device. So again, very nice way to really get a good idea as to what to expect and what your audience will see when they're receiving your messages. Very helpful. The iPad there, of course, with a lot more real estate on the device, the email here would render a little bit better here on the higher real estate. There wouldn't be the need to scroll sideways, just up and down to see it. I'm going to move back over and talk a little bit about pricing. So the pricing on the product, on the email address verification service, it is a flat fee of 1.5 cents US per email address verified, regardless of quantities, no matter how large or small the number of emails being verified at any time. It's really, we find, a very competitive price point for this type of ability to really make sure that your addresses are deliverable, that you're not potentially sending to spam traps and so forth. And so this is what would be applied and is automatically charged after we return back to the verified files. On the email template, and of course that does require a credit card to be on file for that service. The email template rendering is a flat $95 per year. You'll notice that we now have just slightly different names going forward for the versions of IntelliClick. Light is the same as it was always called. Standard, which is our one that is the limited tracking, has a certain volume of tracked links that will be tracked into your system on an annual basis. Premium is what we used to call the unlimited version that has no limitation on how much tracked data goes to your goldmine system. So in the two versions where there is a cost, that would be a prorated cost based on when your next renewal date is. So that fee would be prorated through to the end of your renewal period, and then it would be applied as part of your renewal. For those of you who have the premium product, anybody who's renewed in the last 90 days is immediately eligible to have this on their account, and we will make sure to, it would require us to provide, and we change on our side the account level for the HTML editor to now give you the 900 plus templates along with the rendering testing. Anybody that is outside that 90-day window, upon renewal of your subscription, you will immediately qualify and receive that rendering as part of that. So I'm going to leave this up for a moment. I'm going to actually move over to the contact slide and just speak briefly here, because this is just some of the information if you need to either sign up or provide a credit card by phone. We do provide a form that you can fill in. It's a fillable form in a PDF on through this. There's a link in our terms and conditions area. You can also access it directly on this URL that we are displaying. If you want to request this PDF form, you can send a request to verification@intelliclicksoftware.com. So I'm going to now see, Pam, have we got some questions out there along the way?